The Mexican Consulate in Sacramento has one of the largest jurisdictions among the 50 Mexican consulates in the United States. It covers a huge area that includes 24 counties in northern and central California. It's a region that runs from the Siskiyou and Modoc counties in the border with Oregon, all the way down a band of inland counties to the west and along the border with Nevada to the counties of Stanislaus, Tarumbay, and Mono in the south. It's worth noticing that, according to the 2010 census, more than 11.4 million people of Mexican origin live in California today. Mexicans comprise 30.7% of the state's population. Almost 1 out of 3 Californians have a Mexican origin. This consulate serves around 7.5% of all Mexicans in California. Although Mexicans can be found along the consular jurisdiction, most of the people of Mexican origin live in the counties of Sacramento, San Joaquin, and Stanislaus. The Mexican community is largely found in the cities of Stockton, Sacramento, and Modesto. This Mexican population comes mainly from the states of Jalisco, Michoacán, and Guanajuato. First and foremost, the consulate is a service-oriented office aiming at protecting the interests and rights of all Mexicans in the jurisdiction, addressing their needs and concerns, and taking part in local efforts to encourage their stability and well-being. The guiding principles of our initiatives are protection, empowerment, integration, and higher living standards. The documentation department is in charge of the issuance of passports and consular identifications, notary services, registry of birth abroad, and permits to import household items into Mexico. One of the main functions of the Consulate of Mexico is the protection of the interests and rights of Mexicans abroad. This department is in charge of arranging of legal representation and jail visitation, shipping the mortal remains of Mexicans to Mexico, and supporting people in extreme indigence. The Protections Department offers consular assistance to Mexican nationals and safeguards their interests and rights when they face dire circumstances by providing resources and arranging for their legal representation before local tribunals and authorities. The Department of Community Affairs implements a number of community outreach programs, such as the Ventanilla de Salud, which means health window, to help people understand the U.S. healthcare system and overcome access barriers to healthcare services. They also focus on plazas comunitarias, meaning the Spanish study groups for youth and adults to have literacy courses and to start or continue their elementary, middle, and high school education in Spanish. The Hometown Associations program allows the Mexican community in California to engage with their families and communities in Mexico by sending remittances not only to cover basic needs, but to spur productive and infrastructure projects in their hometowns. Being in the capital of the state of California gives the Consulate General of Mexico a tremendous opportunity to focus on political advocacy as well. Sacramento is in the seat of the state executive and legislative powers, and the Consulate General of Mexico is in charge of facilitating dialogue, understanding, and cooperating with the California government. Our efforts in this regard focus on keeping track of the state's politics and policies. California has one of the most dynamic political systems in the United States, with a governor that is a leader of one of the top 10 economies in the world, a permanent state legislature, and a complex structure of government. In the formation process of California public policies, there are plenty of issues of our interest, such as campaigns and elections, the state budget, bills and regulations that have an impact in Mexico and/or the Mexican population north of the border. The Consulate General of Mexico in Sacramento is also in charge of organizing high-level meetings between authorities of Mexico and California. The President of Mexico, members of his cabinet, different state governors, and the Ambassador of Mexico to the United States have come and will continue to visit with certain frequency the capital of California. The consulate is in charge of organizing the logistics of these meetings, many times in coordination with the other 9 consulates that Mexico has in California. As an example of the proactive stance and the new thinking that the consulate seeks to generate for the benefit of both countries, every year in the month of May, the consulate organizes the California-Mexico Advocacy Day with the support of state legislators, several government agencies, and representatives from the private sector of both countries. The idea is to have at least once a year a Mexican promotion day at the state capitol around a specific topic, with participation of experts from public, private, and civil society from both Mexico and the United States to expand the portfolio of issues of bilateral interest and identify areas of common ground in the formation of public policies. In the organization of the California-Mexico Advocacy Day and many other initiatives promoted by the Consulate, a key partner is a group called Cien Amigos, working for California and Mexico. This is an independent organization of community leaders, business people, and professionals who initially decided to organize themselves in order to support the 2010 celebrations of Mexico's bicentennial. Today, they constitute a group of 100 men and women, all of them U.S. citizens who reside in Northern California, who bring their talents and connections to the table in order to raise awareness about the importance of the relationship between Mexico and California as natural and critical partners for the future. The Consulate General of Mexico acknowledges the valuable support of Adelante Media Group and Saber Es Poder in the production of this video.